warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We from Group 7 will talk about nervous tissue. Nervous tissue. What is nervous tissue? Nervous tissue is the term for groups of organized cells in the nervous system, which is the organ system that controls the body movement, sends and carries signals to and from the different parts of the body, and has a role in controlling bodily functions such as education. Nervous tissue is grouped into two main categories, neurons and Microglia. Neurons, or nerves, transmit electrical impulse, while Neuroglia do not. Neuroglia have many other functions, including supporting and protecting neurons. So, what is the function of nervous tissue? First, neurons generate and carry out nerve impulse. They produce electrical signals that are transmitted across distance. They do so by secreting chemical neurotransmitter. Second, it is respond to stimuli. Third, it is provide electrical insulation to nerve cells and remove debris. Fourth, carries messages from other neurons to the cell body. Fifth, carries out communication and integration. Now, let's take a look at structure of nervous tissue. First, it is made of nerve cells or neurons, all of which consists of an axon. Axons are long stem-like projections emerging out of the cell, responsible for communicating with other cells called the target cells, thereby passing impulse. The main part is the cell body, which contains the nucleus, cytoplasma, and cell organelles. Extension of the cell membrane are referred to as process. Dendrite is a highly branched process responsible for receiving information from other neurons and synapses. Specialized point of contact. Information of other neurons is provided by dendrites to connect with its cell body. Information in a neuron is unidirectional as it passes through neurons from dendrite across the cell body down the axon. So this is nervous tissue diagram in nerve cell. It has dendrite. We can see here soma, axon, node of Ranvier, axon terminal, Schwann cell, Myelin Sheath, and nucleus. Do you know what is the characteristic of nervous tissue? First, nervous tissue makes up for the CNS and PNS of the nervous system. It contains two distinct cells, neuron and glial cells. It consists of the dendrite, cell body, axon, and nerve endings. Neurons secrete chemical neurotransmitters which are responsible for stimulating other neurons as a result of a stimuli. Presence of specialization at axonal terminus called synapses. Nerve cells live long, cannot be divided and replaced, except memory cells. Do you all know where nervous tissue can be found? First, it is brain. Second, it is spinal cord. And lastly, in the nose.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mustafa. I'm to 19 and I will presentation about connecting nervous system. So I'm going to present the neuron. Neuron is the basic unit in the nervous system, and they have 100 neurons in our body. And the function of neurons is catching the information from their surroundings and respond to that information. So, most of the neurons are centered in the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, this is how neurons are functioning in our body. So, neurons have the three important parts, and then we have dendrite, cell body, and axon. So, you can see, first it will respond at dendrite, and it will go to cell body, that means the center of neurons, and axon it was their effector. part is the dendrite. Dendrite was first, it also important to neurons, so dendrites are connected to other neurons. Dendrite also takes the information from a neurotransmitter, so it will give the information to the central body. So dendrite also connected with synapse. Cell body, you can see it was the middle part of the neuron is the neuron. These cell bodies have metabolic cells. It have nucleus, Golgi apparatus, and mitochondrium because they need to. It was the last part in axon. Axon was the last part of the neuron. So axon function is that transmitting information by using the terminal. It have a terminal actually, and the terminal have a synapse that connected with other neurons that can connect with the dendrite. So actually axons are really long, so it might take a long time for transmitting. Because of it, it will become more faster. It have Myelin Sheath. Myelin Sheath function is want to make uh, transmitter of information become more faster than before.
Glial cells. Originally, glial cells, also called as glia or neuroglia, were believed to just provide structural support. The word glia literally means neural glue. Relatively recent discoveries have revealed that they perform all kinds of functions in the brain and the nerves that run throughout your body. As a result, research has exploded, and we've learned volumes about them. Glial cells come in multiple forms, each of which performs specific function that keeps your brain operating correctly. There are 7 types of glial cells: astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, microglia, epinema cells, Radionuglia, Schwann cells, and satellite cells. The first 5 glial cells that are mentioned is present in your central nervous system (CNS), while the last 2 is present in your peripheral nervous system (PNS). Astrocytes. The most common type of glial cells in the central nervous system is the astrocyte, which is also called as astroglia. The astro part of the name is referring to the fact that they look like stars, with projections going out all over the place. Some, called protoplasmic astrocytes, have thick projections with lots of branches. Others, called fibrous astrocytes, have long, slender arms that branch less frequently. The protoplasmic type is generally found among neurons in the gray matter, while the fibrous ones are typically found in white matter. In spite of these differences, they perform similar functions. Astrocytes have several important jobs such as forming the blood-brain barrier (BBB), regulating neurotransmitter, regulating blood flow to the brain, synchronizing the activity of axons, brain energy metabolism, and homeostasis. Oligodendrocytes. Oligodendrocytes come from neural stem cells. The word is composed of Greek terms that altogether mean cells with several branches. Their main purpose is to help information move faster along axons. Oligodendrocytes look like spiky balls. On the tip of their spikes are white, shiny membrane that wrap around the axon or nerve cells. Their purpose is to form a protective layer, like the plastic insulation on electrical wires. This protective layer is called the myelin sheath. The sheath isn't continuous though. There's a gap between each membrane that's called the node of Ranvier, and is the node that helps electrical signs spread efficiently along nerve cells. The signal actually hops from one node to the next, which increases the velocity of the nerve conduction, while also reducing how much energy it takes to transmit it. Signals along myelinated nerves can travel as fast as 200 miles per second. At birth, you only have a few myelinated axons, and the amount of them keeps growing until you're about 25 to 30 years old. Myelination is believed to play an important role in intelligence. Oligodendrocytes also provide stability and carry energy from blood cells to the axons. Microglia. As their name suggests, microglia are tiny glial cells. They act as the brain's own dedicated immune system, which is necessary since the BBB isolates the brain from the rest of your body. Microglia are alert to signs of injury and disease. When they detect it, they charge in and take care of the problem, whether it means clearing away dead cells or getting rid of a toxin or pathogen. When they respond to an injury, microglia cause inflammation as part of the healing process. In some cases, such as Alzheimer's disease, they may become hyperactivated and cause too much inflammation. That's believed to lead to the amyloid plaques and other problems associated with the disease, such as fibromyalgia, chronic neuropathic pain, autism spectrum disorder, and schizophrenia. Microglia are believed to have many jobs beyond that, including roles in learning, associate plasticity, and guiding the development of the brain, in which they have an important housekeeping function. Our brains create a lot of connections between neurons that allow them to pass information back and forth. In fact, the brain creates a lot more of them than we need, which isn't efficient. Microglia detect unnecessary synapses and prune them, just as a gardener prunes a rose bush to keep it healthy. Epinema cells. Epinema cells are primarily known for making up a membrane called the epinema, which is a thin membrane lining the central canal of the spinal cord and the ventricles of the brain. They also create cerebrospinal fluid and are involved in the BBB. Epinema cells are extremely small and line up tightly together to form the membrane. Inside the ventricles, they have cilia, which look like little hairs that wave back and forth to get the cerebrospinal fluid circulating. Cerebrospinal fluid delivers nutrients too and eliminates waste products from the brain and spinal column. It also serves as a cushion and shock absorber between your brain and skull. It's also important for homeostasis of your brain, which means regulating its temperature and other features that keep it operating as well as possible. Next is radial glia. Radial glia are believed to be a type of stem cell, meaning that they create other cells. In the developing brain, they're the parents of neurons, astrocytes, and oligodendrocytes, which when you were an embryo, they also provide scaffolding for developing neurons, thanks to long fibers that guide your young brain cells into place as your brain forms. Their role as stem cells, especially as creators of neurons, makes them the focus of research on how to repair brain damage from illness or injury. Later in life, they play roles in neuroplasticity as well. Next is Schwann cells. Schwann cells are named for psychophysiologist Theodor Schwann, who discovered them. They function a lot like oligodendrocytes in that they provide myelin sheath for axons. but they exist in the peripheral nervous system (PNS) rather than the CNS. However, instead of being a central cell with membrane-tipped arms, Schwann cells form spirals directly around the axon. The nodes of Ranvier lie between them, just as they do between the membranes of oligodendrocytes, and they assist in nerve transmission in the same way. Schwann cells are also part of the PNS immune system. When a nerve cell is damaged, they have the ability to essentially eat the nerve's axon and provide a protected path for a new axon to form. Diseases involving Schwann cells included Guillain-Barré syndrome, Charcot-Marie tooth disease, schwannomatosis, chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, and leprosy. Last, the satellite cells. Satellite cells get their name from the way they surround certain neurons, with several satellites forming a sheath around the cellular surface. We're just beginning to learn about these cells, but many researchers believe they are similar to astrocytes. Satellite cells are found in the peripheral nervous system. However, as opposed to astrocytes, which are found in the central nervous system, satellite cells' main purpose appears to be regulating the environment around the neurons, keeping chemicals in balance. The neurons that have satellite cells make up ganglia, which are clusters of nerve cells in the autonomic nervous system and sensory system. The autonomic nervous system regulates your internal organs, while your sensory system is what allows you to see, hear, smell, touch, feel, and taste. Satellite cells deliver nutrition to the neuron and absorb heavy metal toxins such as mercury and lead to keep them from damaging the neurons. Like microglia, satellite cells detect and respond to injury and inflammation. However, their role in repairing cell damage is yet well understood. They're also believed to help transport several neurotransmitters and other substances such as glutamate, GABA, norepinephrine, adenosine triphosphate, substance P, and acetylcholine. That's all.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Asha Atira. I will present about disease that may happen when the nervous tissue is damaged. For disease, I will talk about peripheral neuropathy. This is the picture of unhealthy nerve cell, and this one is healthy nerve cell. What is peripheral neuropathy? Peripheral neuropathy refers to the many conditions that involve damage to the peripheral nervous system, the vast communication network that sends signals between the central nervous system, which is the brain and spinal cord, and all other parts of the body. Peripheral nerves send many types of sensory information to the central nervous system, CNS, such as a message that feet are cold. They also carry signals from the CNS to the rest of the body. The analogy of the peripheral nerve is the cables that connect the different parts of a computer or connect the internet. When they malfunction, complex functions can grind to a halt. Peripheral neuropathy types. There are more than 100 types of peripheral neuropathy, each with its own set of symptoms and prognosis. To help doctors classify them, they are often broken down into the following categories. The first is motor neuropathy. This is damage to the nerve that controls muscle and movement in the body, such as moving our hands and arms or talking. The second one is sensory neuropathy. Sensory nerve control what we feel, such as pain, temperature, or a light touch. Sensory neuropathy affect this group of nerve. The third one is autonomic nerve neuropathy. Autonomic nerve control functions that we are not conscious of, such as breathing and heartbeat. Damage to this nerve can be serious. For the last category, combination neuropathies. We may have a mix of 2 or 3 of these other types of neuropathies, such as a sensory motor neuropathy. What causes peripheral neuropathy? It is often caused by health problems, but sometimes it can also run in families. The most common cause of health problem is diabetes. Having your blood sugar too high for a long time can damage the nerve. Other problems can also cause peripheral neuropathy, such as kidney problem. This can lead to toxic substances in the blood that damage the nerve. The second one is vitamin deficiencies and alcohol use disorder. Not getting enough nutrients such as vitamin B12 can damage nerve. Overuse of alcohol and not eating a healthy diet can lead to these vitamin deficiencies. The third one is infectious or inflammatory disease, such as HIV or Guillain-Barré syndrome. This disease can damage the central and peripheral nerve. The last one is exposure to toxic substances such as arsenic or by certain medicines such as those used for chemotherapy. What are the symptoms? Symptoms can occur slowly over time. The most common ones are numbness, tightness, and tingling, especially in the legs, hands, and feet. The next one is loss of feeling. You also can feel burning, shooting, or stabbing pain in the legs, hands, and feet. The pain often worse at night. The last one is weakness and loss of balance. Effect of peripheral neuropathy. The brain, spinal cord, and nerve make up the nervous system. Together they control all the workings of the body. When something goes wrong with a part of our nervous system, we can have trouble with moving, speaking, swallowing, breathing, and learning. Not only that, it also can affect our memory, sense, and mood. For example, we can have trouble with simple hand or finger tasks, such as buttoning shirt. So, how is the peripheral neuropathy treated? The focus of treatment for peripheral neuropathy is to relieve symptoms by treating the health problems that causing it. For example, vitamin deficiencies caused by overuse of alcohol can be treated by eating a healthy diet, taking vitamin supplements, and stopping alcohol use. For diabetes, controlling our blood sugar can slow neuropathy and may improve it. We may have physical therapy to increase muscle strength and help build muscle control. Over-the-counter medicine can relieve mild nerve pain. Our doctor may also prescribe medicine to help with severe pain, numbness, tingling, and weakness. How to prevent peripheral neuropathy? Lifestyle choice can play a role in preventing peripheral neuropathy. We can lessen the risk for many of these conditions by avoiding alcohol, correcting vitamin deficiencies, eating a healthy diet, losing weight, avoiding toxins, and exercising regularly. If we have kidney disease, diabetes, or other chronic health conditions, it is important to work with our healthcare provider to control our condition, which may prevent or delay the onset of peripheral neuropathy. That's all from our group about nervous tissue. Thank you.